Welcome to the show, guys. Tariff war has begun. This is not a war that I imagine the U.S. can lose because we simply have put ourselves in the position of taking in a lot of other countries' goods and being in a trade imbalance. And so, unfortunately, all of the ones that were potentially raising tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico, they really have way more to lose than we do. And so I don't believe that the US will lose this war. And I personally don't believe that it will last very long. But it makes a ton of sense that we're going to have a rough start tomorrow because, Trump's moved pretty quickly here, a little quicker than some had expected. We're seeing responses from other countries. Canada saying, hey, we're going to go to bat with you. We're not going to back down and we're not going to take the passive approach here. No, Canada will not be the next state of the United States, which is fine. The bottom line is I largely think they have to come to the table. I largely think that this is going to get worked out relatively quickly. And because I believe all of that, I believe it's setting up for a huge buying opportunity. Now, I'm going to take you into a portfolio, not my specific portfolio, but interestingly, these are cryptos that I've talked about in the past. We're going to look today at Liberty Financial. We're going to be looking at what the Trump boys are buying because I think that there's got to be a reason those guys have accumulated those projects. A couple of the coins in their top holdings are also coins that I've been buying this year and that I still like. We're going to look at technicals on a couple of them. Tomorrow's going to be a rocky road. I'm not going to go into stocks in this video, but I will tell you that I think I've figured out for myself what NVIDIA and Tesla are going to do next. And I think the charts are extremely interesting there. Don't miss those videos because I think it's all setting up for massive gains. You don't have to make as many financial decisions as you think to be profitable on Wall Street. And a lot of you are over trading. How do I know that? Because I struggle with over trading as well. But I can tell you that if you make the right decisions at the right moments, they can be absolutely monumental paydays. And we know people have become famous for making the right decisions at the right moment. And I believe that Wall Street's getting ready to hand that to us. I believe that crypto is getting ready to hand it to us. We're right in the middle of it. I'm going live on a Sunday afternoon, not because I don't want to spend time with my family, but because I believe this is an absolute critical moment. I'm wanting to sound the alarms that this is a buying opportunity, but I'm going to show you in the charts the exact spots that we could come back to. So we are close. We're very close to buying all of these, but I think there's a little room for them to come down. And so we're going to talk about strategy. I'm going to bring my guest on the show. We've got Mark from Tribal Trades is going to join us today because I wanted to include him in this conversation. Hey, Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, Josh. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Appreciate you being here. Just want to welcome some of you guys. Robert, Crypto Coin, Michael, Jorge's in the house, Dale, Napier, Kespo. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, guys. So let's just take a step back. I'm going to let Mark react to the markets right now. Mark, what are your thoughts right now on crypto and what's going on?
Yeah, my initial feeling was a little bit of surprise. I felt it was a little bit of an overreaction from the markets. I mean, they knew that he was coming with the tariffs. Maybe they didn't think he was going to follow through or come as suddenly as he did with those. And I just think it's a little bit of an overreaction. It happens, of course, on a weekend. A lot of the institutionals don't trade. The order books can be a bit thin. Market can be exaggerated one way to the other with bearish news. Obviously can pull it a certain way. There's been accusations of market manipulation there as well. But I do see some positive signs there. I'm starting to see some bullish divergence on Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart and on some alts. Of course, that doesn't always play out. It can be invalidated, but there's some positive there that we could be close or near to a bottom. But I'll be very interested to see how the stock market responds tomorrow. And if we see some more bleeding off there, that could flow into crypto and we could see some more downside there.
Well, let me just go right out on a limb and predict that that's exactly what we're going to get. But here's how I view it. I believe that we're going to see unless this gets resolved. So, who knows? You got to make room for some unexpected news events somehow it all gets worked out late tonight in
Yeah.
some emergency council meeting.
Mm.
I don't see that at the moment. And if nothing gets worked out or no tariff war is everted in the last minute, then I do expect the markets to begin to panic. But personally, now I have been setting out videos in front of you guys since really the second week in December saying that it's over. I've said, and I started in January with the theme of sell the rip. When we begin to move up, it's time to sell that rip. And I still believe that we're going to be in the next month in an environment in which the rips are going to be ideal to be sold. I do believe that we have some stock and crypto reevaluation, but I'm going to tell you guys right now that tomorrow I'm going to be buying when some folks are going to be selling. Here's what's happening. The majority of the down moves or the up moves are getting priced in before the market opens. And so by that point, people have been sitting there staring at the market, trying to get out of a leveraged position, just waiting for the market to open so they could sell. You get one more dip, and then you've got the buyers waiting there to scoop up what the retail just panic sold. I am absolutely saying in this video, not that my sentiment towards the current macro environment have changed. I do believe that we are in a downtrend. We have been in a downtrend since the second week of December. Now, I know that for a fact that's unrefutable by anybody that we have been losing momentum. Nothing in the market, for the most part, when we're talking about the Magnificent Seven or crypto, is showing the trifecta of bullishness, which is price, volume, and momentum. All the market's been giving us has been price. It's been at the expense of volume and momentum. However, having said that, I believe that there's a lot of altcoins that have come down to the level in which I do believe we're out of the woods. I believe that we're going to have a pop-up moment here, and we're going to go back up, and we're going to test the local high on a lot of things, and it's going to be very difficult when we get back up there. And you say, well, Josh, how quickly are we going to get down? How quickly are we going to get up there? I'm going to tell you that largely I think it's going to happen in this month. We're going to test the bottom right now, today, and possibly a little bit tomorrow. And then I personally believe that we're going to stabilize. We're going to turn bearish divergence is going to turn into bullish divergence on shorter time frames, and then we're going to go back up. So you've got to make your own decisions. This is not financial advice, but I'm telling you that it's very possible that when you sell, I'm the one who's taking your bag from you tomorrow and today. And I'm going to take you guys into the Trump boys portfolio, because I believe it's giving us clues as to what projects 47 is going to get behind it this year. Do you think he ain't going to talk to his boys? You got to be out of your mind. They've been strategizing their crypto take this entire last year, and they're just simply exercising the game plan that was established months and months and months ago. We saw it with Trump, Melania, Jr., and there's more to come, right? And so I'm going to get Mark's reaction here, but let me just give you the breakdown in a nutshell. WLFI, World Liberty Financial, which is the Trump boys, crypto organization, they have taken positions in ETH, AVA, Link, Tron, and Athena. Now, they've got other positions, but really those are the main ones. In the big boys, they've taken up to 47 million, I believe, mark in Ethereum, wrapped Ethereum. But I'm going to go over a couple of these, and I'm going to go over SUI, because we're not going to sleep on that. We're going to go over XRP, and we're going to take a look at them. Mark, real quick, what's your thought on Liberty Financial's portfolio?
Yeah, very interesting. A lot of older cycle coins there. The one that piqued my interest was one that they've acquired most recently, because DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, have been talking about putting government spending and finances on the blockchain. And of course, that same day they came out and said that, what did they go and buy? They bought the token called Move. And this is a token that, of course, is a blockchain. And so that caused a big spike in a little bit of Move. I picked up a little bit of Move just as a hedge in case that's the one from left field they came in and chose there. But there's been a lot of speculation there. And I do think you're right. I think what you said about today and tomorrow, even historically, February, the February low after a halving year has come in on the 1st, it's come in on the 9th, and it's come in on the 2nd. of the month, the average has been on the 4th or on the 9th for all years. So it's typically been at the beginning of the month. We've seen that sell off, and then usually for February has been one of the most bullishest months for crypto, both for Bitcoin and for altcoins. And I want to remind you, the last time that we were on the show, you very much called Sui very much correctly, because you talked about the bearish divergence, that you were out. And then, of course, we've seen those play out. And we both talked about that. And there were bearish divergences on a number of coins. Now I'm seeing bullish divergences on the 4-hour on a number of coins. So we could be near or at a bottom, like you say, but I just want to give you props for getting that accurate call there on the Sui, because that has dropped quite a bit since the show that we did.
Yeah, I will just say this, guys, that I'm not going to sit here and spend much time telling you that I was right, but I will take 10 seconds to recap. I sold pretty much everything in late November. I began to take some large swings from late November into the middle of December. And then I began to come out more adamantly with videos that said exit plan. And I began to warn about Sui in a number of videos. I said, I sold mine at $4.95. The last time you saw Mark and I's face, I said, guys, this chart's going south. Now, I even said to you in that video, I said, I brought this bad boy to you. And if you could trust me to take you from 70 cents to $5, why can't you trust me to take it down and to ride the train down? And if you didn't believe me, well, I don't know. Today is just the fact that I did have correct view of the charts. Sui's been slaughtered, but I'm going to cover it today, and I'm going to tell you that be careful. If you panic sell, I'm the one buying your bags. And so I'm more bullish today, even though I don't believe we're exactly at the bottom. I'm going to show you what I think the bottom is. You're going to get a ton of FUD. There are people, I'm hearing stuff about tariffs. Tariffs would be bad in the hands of a lunatic president. I know people are going to say in the comments that Trump's a lunatic president, but the fact is, I believe that he largely uses, he carries a big stick, but the bottom line is I think he's going to want to get the economy going. This guy prides himself on being a successful businessman, and I know people are going to make critical comments about that, but he wants to, did he write The Art of the Deal? He wants to close the deal with Canada. He wants to close the deal with China. He wants to close the deal with Mexico and come out and tell you guys, hey, we're getting tired of winning. You know the routine. You guys have gotten familiar. This isn't our first rodeo with Donald Trump. He's not going to enter into a prolonged tariff war that just brings everybody to their knees. He's not. And as a result, people are going to freak out. Is the current move down a freak out? No, it's extremely justified. We're entering into absolute uncertainty with foreign countries. We have no idea what they're going to do. But I believe it's going to get resolved quickly, and it's going to be the very best buying opportunity that we have perhaps in 2025, or at least for the next 3 to 4 months. Let's take a look at a couple of these cryptos. I'm going to kick things off with Link, and I want to introduce some technical terms that you're going to begin to hear more from me. You might even see a thumbnail titled Death Cross. There's going to be an up-and-coming video titled Death Cross. It's a very simple technical idea. It's when the 50-day moving average crosses beneath the 200-day moving average, and it often signals the fact that the run is over and that we're now entering into the winter. And you're going to see it not just on Bitcoin. You're going to see it on a lot of coins across the board. You're also going to hear a little bit from me today on momentum again, because I know that a lot of people don't fully understand that momentum comes in waves up and in waves down. And so let me just take you first into the Link chart, because Link is absolutely a project that if you haven't been owning and you haven't been looking at, you need to. I'm actually not going to cover ADA today, but I'm going to tell you that ADA is getting some very important eyes on it recently. And so, I had let ADA go early on for much better, faster moving projects, but I'm going to tell you that you're going to start hearing from me this week when talking about cryptos. You're going to actually hear me talk about ADA again. XRP came back. XRP came back with a vengeance. and 8 is not doing too bad either. And so these guys might have their day in the sun. And let's quickly go into the chart and talk about Chainlink. While I'm getting that chart going, Mark, you go ahead and share some thoughts on Chainlink from your point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I shared a chart, a graphic on my X profile, which had like Made in the USA, World Liberty Finance, and a whole bunch of others. And right in the middle in everybody's bucket was Link. And so Link hasn't had set the world on fire in this bull run, but as of late, it's getting a lot of attention. Obviously, World Liberty Finance has been buying it and adding it. It's a Made in the USA coin, which could get that tax exemption. So I certainly see that these projects like Link and the ADAs and the XRPs, there are some things that they have, some news that could come out, like you said, that could really bring some upwards price there. And I mean, I'm even looking at the chart, and it's not looking too bad as you're bringing that up. Looks like almost like a little bull flag there.
Yeah. Let me pull. I'm going to get rid of. So yeah, so the yellow line's going to serve as our 50. The red line's going to serve as our 200. And this is actually here in the large consolidation that we had from March forward up until the blast off month of November. And when we got that cross down, obviously initially with the 200-day, when price moves behind underneath the 200-day, it's a pretty big signal that you need to take caution. When you get your death cross, it means prepared to go lower. And you see that Chainlink went to depths that people were not, they were surprised it hit, which was down here back at $8. When I heard a lot, you never heard it from me, folks, but I heard people talking about an $80 link right in this range. You guys never heard that from me. You don't get those bad technicals from me. It's not perfect. What I'm doing is not perfect, but you just don't get that craziness. So yeah, it came down to $8, and then we recently had this beautiful cross up. This was, you know, you could actually say that initially when the price crossed back above the 50, that's when you know the bulls are in charge. It back tested the 50, took off like a rocket, and we got all the way up here to 30. Now, I just want to point out a couple things. Let's go into the MACD, and I'm just going to tell you that one, I'm going to give you a quick micro lesson on MACD, okay? And maybe it's too fast for some, but cross up here is a buy signal, cross above the zero, but to the downside beneath the signal line is actually on hold. This was a sell signal here when it crossed beneath the zero. This was a buy signal here. And this right here, this candle up here, when this was at 24.41, it was on hold. Okay, so where are we at right now? Well, I'm going to tell you that one, we obviously had a lot of bearish divergence in the chart from price from here to there. This was bearish divergence, extreme bearish divergence, signaling that we were going to come down. It's partly why I've been warning that I'd sold all my cryptos and just, you know, in cash, swing trading, a handful of positions, not bag holding, nothing. But here's where we're at. So when you zoom in, first of all, we're not in a sell. That's the main thing I want to tell you. We're getting close to it, but I actually don't think we'll print a sell signal on the MACD. So I don't believe we'll print it. I believe that this move down is pretty dramatic. You guys know how I like to move with percentages. I know I'm going fast, but just bear with me. That move was roughly 27%. I love to move with percentages. This move here was roughly 34%. And so let's see what we've already gotten from the top of this move till now. We've gotten 27%. So you can see that from the last move down to this current move down, we're about equal. Okay. So I would tell you that on Link, this is a spot where I'm saying, as others are panicking, this is buy time for me. But let me just share with you the absolute worst case, blood in the street. We go down a little bit more over the next 24 hours. This is where I get super greedy and super wanting to load up. And it's anything between this $18.70 and $19. You know, that's where I am incentivized. Now, if we go into a darker storm, and I don't even barely want to mention this because I actually don't see it right now, there is the possibility of us going all the way back to the 200-day and bouncing. But personally, I don't see it. I think that we're more likely in this environment to make a higher low. And if we tap that 1870 and we reverse there, we will be maintaining a higher low, which means that we are likely going to go on between now and the next couple months. And let me tell you what's going to happen when we work out all this tariff stuff. First, I don't believe any of these countries can hold these tariffs long. The US doesn't want to hold them long. China doesn't want to hold them long. Canada, Mexico, none of them want to hold these tariffs long. So they're going to get worked out, and it's going to cause this to jump. So the real question is, how we've come down a typical percentage move. I just showed that to you, right? Almost the same move that we got before when it was a good idea to buy. We literally are within pennies of the same move. So my mind, between 19 and 1870 is a decent spot. And I think that there is a little room in this ascending channel, which I don't know that it's a perfect channel, but let's look at it. What qualifies or confirms a channel is these touches. It's got two touches there, a touch on the bottom. We're waiting for the second touch on the bottom and bounce, and that would give us the move really all the way back to the top of the channel, which would be right around $28. And then I also have my next target at 36. So I'm just going to pause, let Mark react, and we're going to do another crypto here. Let me know in the comments what is the biggest position that you guys got right now, and if you're even able to buy anymore. Do you have any money left? I'm seeing people on X platform saying, I wish I had the money to buy the dip.
Yeah, it's so true. And what I'm reading is just there's a lot of fear right now. And I think what you're bringing now is a sense of calm. You bring some good technicals. You're showing some good setups. That's a bullish chart there. Pattern, I think in the last show, there were a lot of people that were questioning. They found you a little bit too bearish, but price is truth, and you were able to give some great technicals there. What I would say is, for people not to just keep buying a dip that keeps dipping, but have a plan. Know when your entry is going to be, know where you're going to be taking some profits, and know when you're going to get out of that trade if that trade goes against you. And I think that's very important. Like Josh says, he doesn't expect it to go down to that lower level, the 200, but he has a very specific moment about where he wants to get in on that trade. And I think that's what I like. There's clarity, and having clarity. I don't see a lot of clarity today. I see a lot of people just buying randomly, or fear, or wishing they had money, or wondering if the bull market is over. Is the bull market over? And I would say for Bitcoin, no, but some of the altcoins look like they're in a bit of a bear market, but Link isn't one of them.
No,
and I would
matter of
say
fact,
this,
you're right. Link is not one of them. Link is actually holding up extremely well. And you might not believe that Sui is holding up well, but it actually is. Sui and Link are actually holding up darn well. I'm going to show you one here in a minute that's not holding up well, but I'm actually going to be a buyer of. But yeah, no, XRP, the charts. Remember what I told you guys? I said I like the XRP chart more than Sui. Sui was just screaming, "I'm going to pull back." And but you're, believe it or not, these aren't that bad. I know that some of you are thinking they're bad, but they're actually not that bad. Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Sui had been on a tear, remember, since September, without a pause, really, without any kind of major correction. And it's not that Sui as a coin is inferior to XRP or anything like that. It's just the technicals on the charts that it was time for Sui to have a healthy pullback. Remember, XRP didn't jump until November, a full 2 months after Sui did. So it's all about, and I like what you said, and you're a lot more cutthroat at this than me, at cutting your position and seeing the opportunity. Because here's the deal. Way back when XRP and Cardano were doing absolutely nothing. You got to remember, even this is the same with Ethereum. Ethereum has been down against Bitcoin for 3 long years. But there is a time to pivot into a coin when the technicals and the charts show right, and the narratives and the news are there, where you can move into a chart. So just because someone is bearish about a coin 6 months ago and say, hey, it's not a buy, I'm selling all my XRP or selling more ADA, doesn't mean that you can pivot back to it 6 months later or 5 months later. Things can change. The ability to adapt and pivot, I believe, is critical as a trader. And I think some altcoins, I've said this so many times that I think as far as altcoin season goes, I don't think we're going to see the altcoin season that we've seen in the past. I think there's too little liquidity for too many coins that are just out there on the market, and the importance of being in the right coins at the right times is so crucial. And I love your ability to see the opportunity, getting out of SUI, getting into a stronger coin. And I would say that at the right price point, you'll be bringing up the SUI chart here that you've mentioned, you'll be getting back into the SUI trade.
Yeah, I have been trading these actively, but the main message that I've been conveying, and the same with the last video we did, not buying and holding, no buy and hold.
Yeah.
I told you guys we were out of that buy and hold market, and that we were only in a swing trading market. I even said it's a traders and crypto pickers market, and that proved to be true. Let's quickly get some coins on the table here. I'm going to go into SUI real quick. So let's go check that out. Okay, guys. First of all, I want to convince some of you that you need to learn the charting game better. I know some of you know that you need to. Others, they just think it's, witchcraft. It's not. Charting is an art. It is a learned skill. And as you get deeper into it, you realize that it's actually kind of easy. The last time we talked about SUI, this MACD line here was hovering right above the 0 line. And that was right here, guys. The price on SUI was right there. And so this was and I told you, I said, not buying. I'm not buying this. This chart looks terrible. I told everybody, I said, I sold right here, $4.95. I missed the top 30 cents. I'm not crying about it. All right. Now I got the Bollinger Bands up. We're bleeding off the side of the Bollinger Band. We're on the daily time frame. Each candle represents a daily. We are beneath the 0 line. Okay. We had one failed pop. I did buy this dip at 350. It wasn't completely at 350, but I bought this candle wick, this green one. I wrote it up. This thing failed. Right here is a evening star. I've taught this countless times. It's when you got a long green bar going up, a doji at the top, and then a red bar that comes down. It's the break of the bottom of the green bar that confirms the move down. You take the top of the evening star to the bottom of the green candle. Let me get it right. You move it down beneath the bottom of basically the bottom of the break, and it kind of tells you where it's going to go. All of this, the chart's predicted. Okay. Now, personally, I think that SUI is very attractive right here. Okay. So I'm willing to take some risk. I think that it wouldn't shock me if we tapped $3, but there's no guarantee. So if you are able to do some DCAing in this range, I would personally say that I find SUI attractive. Now, do we have a buy signal? No. So let me teach you guys how we'd get it. We need this MACD line to cross above the orange signal line. And if that happens, that intersection is a buy signal. But there's no guarantee that the price will be lower when that buy signal prints. Okay, so what we're going with after that is we're looking at previous swing lows, which our previous swing low was right here at $3. It wouldn't shock me if we came and stopped a bunch of people out who had stop losses right beneath $3. That's why I said we're close to a buy. There's no guarantee that we'll go lower. I think this is a reasonable level to buy. But I would say that between today, the time of this video, and Monday, tomorrow, midday, this is going to be your range. And yes, I believe that we're actually going to make a new high on SUI. You guys haven't heard me say that before, but I believe that we're going to shoot past and make a new high here. I think we're going to have, let me paint it out for you. Why do I believe that? Because I don't believe that the run is over. I don't. I think we're largely going to get to $6 to $6.50. And let me just say this, and I'll come back with some additional comments on this chart, but I just want to put my face on, look you guys dead in the eye. Why do I think the run's not over? One, because as I said to you guys, things go up in waves of momentum and they go down in waves of momentum. So we've just had a wave of momentum down. We've got to go back up and test resistance before getting permission to go down lower. And we don't have a death cross on much of anything. We don't have a death cross, okay? And so the bigger signals that we need to confirm a down move are not in this market right now. And You got Donald Trump hasn't even finished playing his hand at the table of crypto. Let me repeat that. 47 hasn't finished playing his hand at the table of crypto. These guys are strategizing this moment. And because Donald Trump believes that there's more upside in 2025, I believe there's more upside in 2025. And you guys know I follow the charts. The charts are not telling me the move is over. So it's a buy the dip opportunity. Now, you've been hearing from me since the second week of December not to buy the dip, not to buy the dip. This is the dip I told you that we would buy. That's why I've come on Sunday to tell you in the next 24 hours, this is the dip. Okay. This is the dip because the market had already priced in 80%. Now, listen to me. I'm going to say this 2 times. The market already priced in 80% of the tariff war that they saw coming. They're just pricing in the final 10, 20%, and then they're going to buy again. Okay. Then they're going to buy again. And so just be aware that this is close to a buying opportunity and the bull run is not over. And you can see the change of tone between the last time I did a crypto video and I was telling you guys, I'm selling, I've sold. We've got more room to the downside. And today saying not much more room to the downside. We're going to have to be careful that we don't load up too soon. Leave a little powder just for the little bit more down that this might go. But we're darn close on a bunch of cryptos. Mark, what are your thoughts?
I just saw a comment here. Hella friggin' Luya. I thought it was RIP. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think with Sui as well, $3. I saw the $3 there and I thought, yep, that's where I had my buy, which got missed. It came down to $3.07, but it may still come down and tag it. The 200 EMA on the daily is there, and that can be a little bit of a magnet in bullish when you have big corrections and bull runs like this. And I'm telling you, the 200 EMA on the daily is bang on that $3 mark right there. So that will be an entry for me if we get there. Maybe it might be by the time tomorrow comes up, it might be at $3.01 or $3.02. I'll probably put my buy orders around $3.01, $3.03 to make sure I don't miss that order on Sui.
Yeah, let me go back to the Sui chart and we'll jump into the SEI chart in just a minute. SEI, S-E-I. This is one that I had played with a lot earlier in the bull run and been ignoring for quite a while, but it's actually not showing great relative strength. And you say, well, why trade it? Because I'm familiar with the chart and I think we're getting to that spot where it's going to be ripe and it's going to give a big return. And I'll be more specific. It's very cheap. So I can put more money and get a larger return on a move based on the fact that this is only 26 cents today. And I can be in a larger position in this than a crypto that costs, $4, $3, or $2. And so there's an appeal to the low cost of SEI, SEI. Let me take you one last peek into the Sui chart and we'll go into the SEI chart. Let me pop up my screen. Thank you guys. Hey, hit that like. If you want to get more help with your crypto and know what's happening, when it's time to buy and when it's time to sell, then you can hit the subscribe. Okay, let me just talk about this, guys. Okay, so $3. And yes, what he said, I want to highlight. The red is the 200-day moving average right here. And I can't predict the exact spot. I can tell you that from $3 to $2.50, I'm going to be in big. I don't believe the run is over. I do believe that Sui's been punished enough. I do believe that the reaction to the upside is going to be quick and fast. And so you have to kind of move into these slowly in a zone. You got to leave a little bit money. I will have large positions of all of these that I'm going over today, and I'm expecting for a massive payday. I said it at the open. You don't have to be right all the time. If you're significantly right at the right moments, that can take you a long way to getting rich. And I am already rich. I'll just tell you honestly, to my standards of wealth expectation. There's plenty of people richer than me, but I can tell you when this is over, I expect to have more. All right. So you guys heard me. I think I still believe we have a potential of a little downside. There is no guarantee. If we break the $3, very likely we'll hit this. And where would we stop? Very likely there or at the $2.50 range. So just be aware that if you are going to buy, you want to consider that the entire range is your buy range. Where is it going to go after that? I largely believe that we'll ultimately get back above 5. That's what I am counting on. Let's look at Say. Now, Say's been punished. This is one that I've been actively trading and making good money on. This is one that I took short today, and it's hit my buy zone. My ideal buy zone was 0.247 down to 0.22. So this is very, very attractive to me already. My up zone is, I'm in a swing trade here, and my up target for this immediate trade is going to be 36 cents. And so I'm expecting accumulation here and profit up here at 36 cents. Does that mean I'm going to immediately sell when it gets there? No, I'm going to pull in the stop loss game, and I'm going to see if it goes higher. Now, this has not performed as well as SUI. I don't at the moment expect this to necessarily get back to 60 cents. It could, and I don't expect it to get back to all-time highs. This has been showing some not relative strength. I like other cryptos. Why am I sharing it with you? Just because it's a trade I'm in, and I wanted you guys to be aware of it. So I'm giving SEI a trade from the low 20s up into the mid to high 30 to 40 cent range. And I'm hoping to make some good money on it. But let's talk about more important cryptos like XRP. XRP. Now, remember SUI, and I told you that the XRP chart was showing way better strength than SUI. Okay, why? Because remember, we're on the daily time frame, and the SUI MACD was down below the 0, which meant it was in the hands of the bears. Okay, which meant that as far as percentage-wise, it was going to go down lower, than other cryptos. So up here with XRP, we're actually still in the hands of the bulls. We've just had a little bit of a price retreat. Now, I see that we've gotten support. $2.50 was, to me, a beautiful spot of entry. Having said that, I don't see the volume in this chart. So this is one of the more important things I'm going to say today. The reason why I'm not convinced this down move is over and why I'm telling you guys give it 24 hours is that I'm not seeing the buy volume in yet. The market's still scared. So XRP at this moment, 238 seems to be more appealing to me. If we get to 238, we're still actually making a series of higher lows. Let me just point it out to you. Bam, bam, bam. And even here would be higher. So I like it. Remember that the last time it's sold off and it came down, it's very important, guys, if you pay attention to this, percentage move, 30%. The last time it did that, it gave us a new high. That's kind of what I'm expecting here. So if we get down to my target of $2.38, look at that, guys. Lo and behold, the percentage is exactly the same. I trade these percentages and make a fair amount of money, okay? You guys have seen me put in the Discord $100,000 day profits, 100,000, not day, 100,000 per trade profit. And I keep repeating, I do it a lot off a percentage. So the last move down was around 30%. If we hit my target of $2.38, we'll be at 30%. And I'm going to tell you where it is I'm likely going to sell, which is right here at $3.95. Now let's just do the math. If I'm in at $2.38, let me just pull this up. Give me a minute. And I get out at $3.95. This could be, these are daily candles, and this move took about 2 weeks to hit a new high. If I get this right at $2.38 in 2 weeks, I can have a 65% up move on XRP. And I'll tell you that I've already sold my long bags. So I'm doing leverage trading, which means I'll probably be a 7x position on this. It'll probably be 6 figures. So you're talking about a 65% on a fairly large position. This is very attractive and very exciting for me right now. Mark, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that XRP has had a pretty parabolic run since November and is due a good pullback, and that can be healthy. I've even looked, at the $2 range, which is where the 100-day moving average is. But I'm looking at it's right under the 50-day moving average and the 50 EMA, and the 50 EMA is just crossing over the 50-day there on the daily time frame. And so right now we're underneath that. I feel if there's rejection there, then we could come down to where the 100-day moving average is there, around about that $2 range. even at the bottom of the range, that $1.90 to $2 range, that would start to really get me interested with XRP. We might not see it, but if there is a bit more of a sell-off tomorrow, we could have that little flash crash. And I always say I like putting those little cheeky bids in. You never know if they're going to get filled. There's no harm in putting them there a little bit lower. Many times I put some in thinking, it's not going to come back to there. And then I'm surprised to see, you wake up one morning and you see there was a bit of a drop down, and it wicked down and it got those bids. And some of my best trades have been putting those bids in where you don't quite think it's going to go to. And of course it does. And of course we always have those trades where our bids don't quite get hit. It misses by a cent or two. But it certainly is a nice feeling when you wake up and some of those deeper corrections that wick down and quickly come back up, that your trades get picked up there.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you guys, just to be very clear, I want to repeat and repeat and repeat these things so that people don't walk away from the video uncertain. I'm doing this live video today because I think that we are within 24 to 36 hours of the exact bottom on the majority of these. Most of these charts are telling me that there's a little room lower. Okay, so I think that we're in the storm, but we're darn close to this lower level. When we get it, you guys have a good 12 to 24 hours to position yourself to take advantage of this move. You have to choose your own financial decisions. I'm letting you know that this is the move I'm taking advantage of. And I'm showing you the cryptos that I like. I like the same things the Trump boys like. I got more cryptos than them. I like ONDO. I'm in an ONDO trade right now. I am telling you that I'm leaving a ton of money so that as these dip in the final 24 hours, I can get my full position. I want to have it as close to the numbers I'm showing you. And then I believe we're going to have a nice gain here. I believe that this news will be turbulent, both in stocks and cryptos on Monday. And I would expect Monday and potentially Tuesday, not entirely sure. But I do believe that we're going to get a reversal. I want to get into NVIDIA, but today's video is not about NVIDIA. I think we're going to have a dip on Monday in NVIDIA, especially with the new tariffs on China. But I do believe that that's setting up for a nice buy opportunity. And I'll tell you that I think NVIDIA will be back to 140 within the next 6 weeks. So there's a hard prediction for you. There's clarity for you. Now, again, that's my conviction, and I'm prepared always in every risk position I take. I'm prepared to lose. I've learned that I don't always win. So you have to prepare an amount that you are comfortable losing that isn't betting the family farm or taking food off the table. And so just keep that in mind. Let's go look at Ethereum real quick, and I'll get Mark's thoughts on Ethereum here next.
Okay, guys. A lot of calls out for ONDO.
Yeah. Okay, we'll look at ONDO too. Okay, first off, the market's easy. Right here on December 21st, right when Ethereum was 34.40, it gave a sell signal. So the market gave us a sell signal. Now, when the blue line crosses beneath the zero line, that's a contingent sell signal. When the signal line crosses beneath the zero line, that's your confirmation. Okay, that's your confirmation that the move is going down. That was given on Ethereum right here at 3,400 roughly. Well, today we're sitting at 2,700. So believe the charts. Now, I began to get interested in Ethereum recently, and I've begun to make some purchases around this $3,000 range. Okay. Now, I believe that obviously we've come down quite a bit. I will tell you that the structure that I see with my eyes is a bullish descending channel. Okay. And it seems to be respecting it pretty good. I don't know that we're exactly at the bottom, but I will tell you that this is respecting it. I'm holding Ethereum right now. Ultimately, I believe that we will see this thing break above this channel. Technically, let me remind you, because I talk to you guys a lot about these patterns, but I want you to understand them. Technically, this is a down move, and it doesn't go bullish until it breaks above the channel. So is there a clear buy signal on this chart? Technically, no. I just told you there absolutely is not. Let me reverse that. Okay, let me put that back on. Just give me a second, guys. So there is no clear buy signal on this chart, right? We're bouncing off the bottom of this channel. We're in the bottom half of the channel, which is the worst part of the channel to be in. If if you're thinking it's going up, we get bullish again above 3,000. But I think personally, the buy range, to be honest with you, for me, the buy range has been now and down to 26. Okay. So patient people are going to have the biggest return. If you're too patient, you begin to get greedy. Obviously you could run the risk of not getting anything if you try to wait for it to come back to 2,600. Don't tell me in the comments section that you were waiting for 2,600 because I told you, because I've already been nibbling. Now, the second thing that you guys need to understand is that when it gets back above the zero line, which it's not at the moment, this will be a buy signal here. And when it gets above 3,000, that'll be a buy signal. And when it gets back above 3,440, that'll be a buy signal. So I like Ethereum. I think that we're going to get positive news on the staking end of Ethereum for the ETFs. And I think it's going to then make a new high. And why is the other reason why I like Ethereum? And I just want you guys to keep it in perspective. Why do I like Ethereum? Because I can park a ton of money in Ethereum and it's not the fastest moving car. I'm controlling a little bit of risk when I want to be playing something and I want to have larger sums of money in. You can do that with Bitcoin and Ethereum, and you're not going to lose 50, 60% if you're wrong. So if this would have to break down beneath 2,600 for me to even consider letting a stop loss trigger it out. I'm in a buying stage on Ethereum. Mark, any thoughts on Ethereum before we move on to ONDO, and then we're going to wrap up the video?
Yeah, I mean, I like your assessment on it. I've got my limit line in the sand at the 200 weekly, the 200, not the 200 day, but the 200 weekly moving average down at 2,500. It's visited there a couple of times when there has been corrections. I feel that if we do get a sell-off tomorrow, if people are looking to pick up Ethereum, that could be a good value zone there. I know that's a little bit lower than what you had on your chart there, but that's
on
just something I've been
time
watching
frame, Mark?
Ethereum for a while.
What time frame?
Sorry?
What time frame?
The 200 weekly simple moving average.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so that's sitting at about 2,500. So if you look over that, it has revisited, consistently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 touches through to November when it took off. So if there was a big sell-off and there's a big LUXALGO order block down there, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we came down, and that's where those wicks come down, take out those stop losses. And that could provide a good buy opportunity for those who are looking at Ethereum. If I was looking to buy Ethereum, I'd have a buy order down at that 200 weekly moving average, simple moving average down there at around 2,500, maybe just a little bit above.
Well, I'm going to show you one more thing. I like what you're saying. Let me just show you guys this from my perspective, why I like the range I'm in. Remember that you see all these candles. This is consolidation, which means that it's created a base of support. And you see that it, again, countless times this had worked as resistance, okay? Resistance, resistance, resistance. We shot above right through this zone, and we never really tested it as support. So that's why I believe that we will come back and test this area. And even if we wick beneath 2,700, that'll be a bear trap. Okay, so a wick under my channel will be a bear trap. And I think also keep in mind that we have this historic ascending trend line, and it looks like it intersects right here, but right around 2,650, right in the center of my buy zone. So, you're going to have to take risk on some semblance of charting. This is not, pure accuracy. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to add to that, Josh, from just zooming out, there's only been one red February for Ethereum in history. Every other February for Ethereum has been green. So it's very hard to bet against it. People ask me, should we sell Ethereum now? And I'm like, if it's me, I'm holding because, one, the chart looks set for a little bit of a run. It's coming down to those support levels. And I agree with you. I wouldn't expect Ethereum to close below that 2,500. I could see it wicking into it and closing back above that 26, 2,700. Like you said, we could see a little bit of violence with a little bit of a sell-off there. We'll be interesting to see what happens. But overall, Ethereum has loved the month of February, and so it'd be hard to bet against Ethereum this month. And the technicals do look like it's setting up for a run. And I would be surprised if it didn't get over its previous all-time high. I agree
I'm
with you
with you
there.
there. I'm with you there. They bought 47 million over in Liberty Financial Trump boys camp.
Yeah.
$47 million worth of Ethereum because they think that their father probably is the pump master in chief. And let me show you one more thing. I remember what I told you. I said there's two technicals you're going to hear more from me. We're going to go into, it's going to be the death cross and it's going to be the golden cross. But let's go look at the golden zone on the Fibonacci because I think you guys need a little bit more convincing, and I'm going to do it for you. I'm not telling you what to buy. I'm only telling you what I'm buying and why. I have this fib chart dialed in the way that I like it to show the golden pocket zone right here, okay? And this is normally the retracement from a swing high. And look at the price. It literally came down and tapped the bottom
Yeah.
of the golden pocket. And so from a technical perspective, could we tap this one more time before going higher? Absolutely. Is this the right place to take risk? You know, that depends on you. It's the right place for me. I'm going to be loaded up. And then I imagine, and of course, who knows, but maybe I'm going to be out here and you guys are going to have to suffer to listen to me again when I tell you I'm selling Ethereum. And I can already tell you what's going to happen. You can tell them, Mo. I'm sorry, Mark, Kiwi Mo. You can tell them right now when I come out and tell you that I'm selling my Ethereum, probably be, I don't know, 5K, maybe a little bit north of 5K, 4,800 to 5,500, let's say. It's going to be wildly unpopular, and you're all going to tell me I'm nuts, and I'm okay with that because I'm going to be over here counting my money. Okay, so do I know that Ethereum's going higher? Absolutely not. If it doesn't go according to plan and we get a death cross, I'll come out here and say, guys, it broke through the golden pocket, and now we have a death zone, and now we got to let it go. You'll hear that from me. But when you follow this page, you're at least following someone who's trying to follow the charts. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to give you one more, and that's going to be ONDO. Mark, while I'm setting up my chart, you want to share some thoughts on ONDO?
Yeah, I've been dollar cost averaging back into ONDO. I sold ONDO and pivoted into a faster moving coin. That other coin took off, but then ONDO had the big dip and I was buying at 75 cents. And I'm definitely buying this dip here with ONDO. I see it's broken down below the 100 simple day moving 100-day moving average, but we do have the 200 EMA, the exponential moving average on the daily time frame is sitting at about $1.09, and that's actually where ONDO kind of took off from on around the middle of January, the 13th of January, went all the way up to $1.65, and then is coming back. And then we've got the 200 simple, which is not the same, obviously. It's the simple moving average, not to be confused with the 200 EMA, which is at $1.09. That's sitting at $1.01. So I see that for me as a bit of a golden buy zone there. I've got some orders stacked in there.
Now, where exactly, Mark, did you say?
The 200 EMA on the daily, which is at $1.09 or around about $1.09, and the 200 simple moving average, which is sitting at about $1.01.
Okay. I have that's really very reasonable ideas. I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then I have to acknowledge this extremely generous super chat from Florentine Muntianu.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for that. Great time for an update. And he asked me to talk about Doge, and I appreciate his generosity. And personally, I have always been a Doge lover. I believe it's the godfather of the meme coin. And so I will take a little extra time, but let's get ONDO in. So let's talk about this. So what is ONDO doing different than Ethereum? Well, one, it's showing extreme relative strength, much better relative strength than Ethereum, SUI, and I'd even say XRP for the most part as well. This, well, no,
I
no,
agree.
no, no. It's XRP is actually doing better. So but it's definitely doing better than SUI right now. Ondo's showing strength, man. This. We go back to those other charts, and that last swing low was lost by everything except for Ondo. Ondo's actually higher now. Is it moving down slower? Possibly. Could it possibly get to the bottom of this golden pocket zone? We just talked about Ethereum being down there. For Ondo, that would be between $1.95. Personally, I'm not seeing it. This has just been so dang strong. How do we know we're out of the woods with Ondo? It's when price gets back above $1.30. That's when we are back into this higher fib level. You can see this point of control back here. That set that $1.30. It also was support here. And then we began to struggle with this level. Like everything else, it fell. This is a bearish ascending channel. That was a warning to get out of Ondo. I do think we could come down and touch this 102, but boy, I can't tell you what you should do with your money. But if we got down here to 102 on Ondo, that might be one of the very best crypto buying
Yeah.
opportunities that the altcoin
Yeah.
season has given us. And I think that this would be even a better target than my Say project. Immediately move back to 215 and higher. Personally, I think this is an easy $3 coin this alt season. And when I give you targets, they're realistic. But if we got this move, we'd be getting 114%. If we got it to $3, we would be getting 200%. And so, yeah, this is one that you don't want to sleep on. Best price available would be anything close to $1. But personally, this is one I'm going to be nibbling on. I'll be nibbling on it. This is your buy zone where it's at, down to $1. It's very attractive. Now, down here on the MACD, we talk about buy signals. This was a buy signal right here. Okay, so I know. Let me clean up my chart. We're going to do this one, and we're going to do Dogecoin. But it's just important that you guys learn this stuff because it'll help you make money. Right here, this was a buy signal for Ondo, right? Did it? Now you're taking risk because you're still beneath the zero line, okay? But you're above the 200-day moving average. And so the fact is, this has gotten lower, but I think we're very, very close to a reversal. If we get above the zero line here with both of these lines, it's going to be a very strong buy signal. So I would tell you initially above $1.30. If you get to $1, I can tell you I will probably buy twice as much as I'm thinking of. But between here and $1, you've got to really give Ondo some time. When are we out of the woods? We're out of the woods above $1.30. We're out of the woods above the zero line on the MACD. And at that point, you put your stop loss in and you ride. Your biggest problem is going to be the same with some of these others. Your biggest problem is going to be when to take profit and getting too greedy. You know that I'll largely be looking at taking profit $3. I'll be looking and struggling with taking profit then. Mark, final thoughts, and I'm going to go look at the Dogecoin chart.
Yeah, I actually think Ondo could surprise a lot of people and get up, to 10, 20, even $30. I mean, depending on what kind of altcoin season. I mean, if it gets the market cap of Dogecoin's current market cap, it's going to be $12. If it gets to Solana's market cap, which Cardano got to last cycle, which is 90 billion, it's going to be up around that $30 region. So now I'm not saying that, there's no guarantees, of course, but I think with the BlackRock, I believe even World Liberty Fi has Ondo, or the Trump Foundation has Ondo as well in their on their list there as well. And I just think that this could really take off. I think the one thing that people were scared of is the big unlock in January, which has now happened. And I think that was largely priced in. And I thought that it was going to be largely priced in as well. But now that's gone. And the next unlock is not until January 2026. And so there was just always that FUD and fear over it. Like, oh, no, I don't want to buy now because there's going to be this big January unlock. That's gone. And so I think once the altcoins really begin to take off, I think Ondo is going to absolutely be a flyer.
Yeah, I like ONDO, guys. I can't make it any more clear to you. Just be mindful that I'll tell you this is something you're not going to hear. I don't know how many more big dips we should have before this is over. I am really imagining here in the first week of February that this is going to be one of the last big dips before we get the top ahead of us. I could be wrong. I am leaning towards believing that to be true. I don't know how long this rally is going to extend into 2026. I made a
Yeah.
comment before that the winter is coming in the summer of 2025, which means that we have to be prepared to be thinking about our exit plan by this summer. And if there's going to be, I'm not saying we're not going to get any more dips. I'm just saying that this might be one of the best last dip buying opportunities. I'm not calling it today. I'm calling it right in this zone in the next 24 hours. Let's look at Dogecoin. I think it's a very interesting chart. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in a minute on Dogecoin, and we'll wrap up. Okay, first of all, I use the Lux algo indicators. I found them very useful. I don't need them, but they're very helpful to me as a trader. There's a link in the description of the video for Lux. One of the things it does is it gives you premium zones when you should be considering selling. Here's the red premium zone. It was the best opportunity to sell. Well, Lux told you that. It gives you equilibrium zones. This is sort of the fair value price. It tells you when you should be considering buying it. The last time we broke into this zone, it was right. If you bought it then, you would have bought it for 26 cents and you could have sold it for 43, an 80% return. Now we're back in the equilibrium zone. We have some news that we're mitigating, which means that we're not entirely out of it. I'm not seeing volume come in. I'm not seeing the buyers come in. I think the market's going to wait 24 hours. And I think that like Mark was saying, in this case, I kind of like Dogecoin back at 22 cents, 22 to 24 cents. It's in this zone. I like it here. Let's go back and look at this real quick. I'm just going through this about what I see. Look at how these things line up, okay? This is your bullish descending channel. We broke character right here. We had a triple bottom we broke. And typically, the way that you determine how low it'll go, these are good lessons. You go to the top of the move to that triple bottom. You move that move down, and it tells you where you'll go. So where is it telling us? Wow. It's telling you when it broke 30 cents that it was going to 22 cents. Now, this isn't a perfect science, but it's a darn good science. News could change this. Early buyers who want to get in could change it, but largely that's pretty safe technicals. At least you've got a trade plan and you're going off of something. I like it at 22 cents. I wasn't thinking of buying any, but putting this back on my radar, I might buy a little bag if we hit it. This is a bullish structure. It's called a continuation pattern, and it points potentially to a higher high. Now, we do have to be mindful of momentum. Let's take a minute and talk about it. So, will we get a new higher high in Dogecoin in this cycle? We don't know. In general, this is a bullish setup. If we hold above 200 and we bounce, it's very possible we'll get a higher high. How much higher might we go? It's very tough to say. I can tell you that what I'm going to be looking for on every crypto and every chart, you often have to make a higher high in momentum. And you can see that even though we made a higher high here, look at how bearish the divergence was. That divergence was telling you that we were going to get down to 22. So what I need to see is some bullish divergence telling me that we're going to find some higher momentum. I like this chart at bare minimum for a move from 22 cents back to 40. And I think I would largely trade it that way, Mark. I think that some of you guys are just, I'm joking a little bit, being a little playful, but some of you guys are just greedy as all get out. And you're not thinking, you're not traders, you're not investors, you're lunatics. I love you to death. But some of you just think this stuff is going to run forever because Elon's rich and he's tied his name to it, or Trump's powerful and he's tied his name to it. It's not going to happen that way. We got to follow the charts. There has to be a basis for our decisions. The charts work. I just showed you what in my mind is some good charting on Dogecoin. It's worth taking risk right around 22 cents. More than likely, I mean, I don't know what it would take for Doge to absolutely capitulate under 22 cents. But to be honest with you, if you begin your investment at 22 cents, you're way ahead of most other people, 98% of the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah.
Chico
Well, I
said,
agree with that. And
thank you.
yeah, it's funny because every time you bring up a chart and you got your little things there, that's the same things I've got on mine, but you got the 200 simple on the daily, at 22, you got a Fibonacci level there at 22 cents. So for Doge buyers, again, that would be a good place to start to put in there, even if there was a wick lower. I see that as a great entry. And somebody just put in the comments, what about Sonic? And I just actually got a message from Sonic that I wanted to share, that their staking platform looks to be rolling out today before the market opens, which is in the next, while we'll probably be sleeping, hopefully we'll be waking up to a staking platform, which would be very bullish, which means you can take your Sonic and actually stake it on their platform and earn more Sonic on that. I don't know what the APY will be. There's a new website coming out as well. So this is, you're getting it first, but I don't think they've even shared this anywhere. I just got the message. I just saw there for Sonic on there. So I think that's going to be bullish, and that's going to be followed by a listing, hopefully within a few days or a week after that.
Thank you, Mark, for that direction on Sonic. Guys, Mark's got his own page. It's called Tribal Trades on YouTube, as well as the fact that he's in the Stocks with Josh Discord. He's doing an incredible job providing guidance and technicals. I'm going to leave a link for him in the description of this video. And here's where I want to conclude and leave with, guys. The Bitcoin run isn't over. It's not over according to me, according to what I see in the charts. I believe that Wall Street knew that Donald Trump was going to create a tariff war, okay? That's why there hasn't been strong institutional buying on the way up since the inauguration. And I believe that since we've pulled back in many projects, I believe that 80% of that known tariff war has already been priced in. I believe 80% of the tariff war has been priced into crypto. I believe we're dealing with the final 20% that's going to get priced in between you hearing my voice right now and the good news that these things get resolved. I believe that we are going to make major headways. They don't have to be resolved. We just need to hear Donald Trump say, hey, I'm talking to them and we're working on something and it's looking good. That's all the market needs. And you're going to see crypto front run the good news. Somehow crypto seems to do that. And I believe that we are not, this is not the moment to become extremely fearful. This is the moment to get a little greedy. And I would say pace yourself, because I showed you in all of these charts, Dogecoin being the last example, that there was a little bit of room down from where it's at to where it likely will go. And here's the other thing that we don't have. We don't have a big enough wick. We need candles with huge wicks. Wicks on the bottom of candles indicate buyers rushing in. I don't see buyers rushing in as I'm making this video Sunday afternoon, but they're going to rush in quick and you need to get prepared. I'm looking very carefully at these charts. These are all the cryptos I'm going to be getting into. I think I will put a couple buy orders in for Dogecoin at 22 cents and see if they trigger. I think there's going to be opportunity. So stay close. We're going to be covering crypto a bit more this week because of the opportunity at hand. And come talk to us more directly in the Stocks with Josh Discord. Don't sleep on Mark's page because he's dropping great crypto degen knowledge every single day. He's worth watching. Appreciate you guys. Peace and blessings. Hit that like before you head out. I didn't get 1,000 likes on this video. I'm a little surprised because I didn't spend much time asking you for them, but I know that more than 1,000 people are watching right now. So if you made it this far, just take a second more and hit that like for me. Appreciate you. Peace and blessings. Take care.